Welcome to the Powerlifting podcast. I'm your host, Theo, and this is your co-host, Eric. And we have a returning special guest, Alex Cano.
Glad to be here, guys. On my favorite podcast. That's do it once a week.
All right. So we thought we would do a special type of podcast because we really liked some of your opinions on the last one. And we'll be doing an overrated/underrated of different things in powerlifting.
Yeah, we'll just go through a whole bunch of topics.
Yeah.
We'll give our little overrated, underrated.
Awesome.
Okay, so the first one being SBD Days.
Okay, I'm gonna write mine
Y'all
down.
censor things out?
No, all unedited.
No, yeah.
Like,
Well, don't say any really bad words.
oh, okay. I was like, I have this acronym for SBD Day that I do sometimes. Because the SBD stands for a couple crazy things.
Yeah, as long as it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll just not say it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, you like SBD days.
I love SBD Days.
I think they're
Ooh.
overrated.
I think they're underrated.
You think they're underrated? All right, I guess we can explain our reasoning first.
Yeah,
'cause I
explain
feel
y'all's
like
reasoning first.
Ours is a little bit more in line.
What do you
So
think, Theo?
I think overall, like, one main reason why a lot of people want to do SBD days is because they feel like they need the practice for meets. And they think, oh, if I do all my lifts on one day, it's going to translate better to on the platform. Kind of give them a more realistic expectation of how they'll feel. But I don't really think that's necessarily needed because, like, if we're doing this golden microcycle approach, we should just be aiming to make each like primary lift feel the best on a certain day. It doesn't really matter if it's on an SBD day or not. So I think that's like one reason I've been hearing a lot of why people want SBD days. And I think you don't necessarily need it. You just need to kind of find the right exposure between the sessions. And sometimes it happens to land on an SBD day. What about you?
I think the exposure part is the most important part because that can really get a lift going or a lift not going. But really, I think SBD days are just a little bit long. I think for secondary, if it's like a secondary SBD day or where things just coincidentally land on an SBD day, if you have to bench 4 times a week or if exposure-wise it just makes the most sense for squat and deadlift, then I think it's good. But I don't have too many people doing SBD days.
I actually like the point that you just made about the secondary one because it's going to tie into my point. Because sometimes you need the squat and the deadlift back to back. And if you can only do that and time out the exposures correctly if you have a secondary SBD. But my take was underrated because I think that most of the people that I see, they need to have fatigue concentrated towards one end of the week, right? If you have the secondary SBD or like secondary day at the beginning of the week, and then you have a primary SBD at the end of the week, what I often see is fatigue gets really well concentrated to be higher at the beginning of the week when they're doing your secondaries and higher and lower at the end of the week. And even if it's higher, they usually feel stronger at the end of the week. So it like concentrates the cycle into where they're weaker at the beginning of the week when they need to be weaker and stronger when they need to be stronger because they're doing all their heavy output on one day. The body kind of just learns to put the output on that day. And also too, like the body usually doesn't love being strong for a lot of people on multiple times a week, especially having those massive outputs when you're lifting a lot of weight. So it's like having an SBD day allows you to hit the heaviest stuff in the most accessories on one day. I like to concentrate for some people, accessories that are hard, lifts that are hard and heavy on one day. So then they're just cooked the rest of the week, but they have the rest of the week to recover, gain their patterns back, do less weight. So they can do less weight, but for more benefit, right? And then they can come into their SBD day feeling the best they can because they didn't have to push that hard throughout the week.
How many people do you have doing SBD days?
I couldn't name it, but if I would say I have like primary SBD day, very, very common. I have a lot of people that do it. Like I can think of maybe like 16 that do it.
Okay, so like a pretty decent.
Yeah, 16 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's like.
I think there's a small handful of mine where it's more so the secondary stuff.
Yeah, but I would agree with you
exposure.
though. The secondary one is the very common one. That's the one that I have the most of actually.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of people in primary, like 20 people. But I almost have all my clients in some sort of form of SBD.
Yeah.
Even if it's secondary because it just lines up better for the primary because sometimes in some cases if the power is high for a squat, you have 1 to 2 days leeway in front of it or behind it to have that deadlift, or the power is going to be gone.
The power band.
The power band, we'll call it.
It's
right?
funny though, the way that you're reasoning, if I have like no data on a client, that's actually how I'll start them with a primary SBD day, because it'll be easier to figure out.
It will.
Like, oh, okay, well, we'll make this change after. Like those,
And you can figure out if their secondary is stronger on one
Yeah.
lift or not pretty quickly too.
right? Versus like if I have it start in the middle of the week, all the primaries, then you're like, well, it might be this one thing, or it could just be because this is bleeding over into this other session.
So some people actually need the 2 sessions completely separate. Some people need them really close together. But that's why I was like, secondary SBD is almost like a must. So it's like, I think that's why SBD days are so underrated, because it's like, I'm not even just talking primary SBD. Secondary SBD makes it so you can have deadlift Friday or Saturday, squat Friday or Saturday, deadlift Sunday or Saturday, day after you squat. Sometimes, although it seems contradicting, that power is still there. You might feel a little cooked. But usually you're not as extended as you would be 2 days after, and you're usually not as low in power as you think. Usually you can pull a good deadlift. But these are also sometimes people that either they share the same muscles for the lift because they're really leggy or hip dominant, or they have really good technique on squat and deadlift, or because they have like a lot of back dominance, or they aren't very well leveraged for the lifts, right? It's either really well leveraged or not well leveraged. Because those really well leveraged people, sometimes that squat really primes the next day's deadlift. Especially for sumo pullers, is what I've noticed. But if they're also really bad leveraged, they aren't as cooked until 2 days after most of the time.
Right.
Okay. The other key, though, is if you do something where it's like a primary SBD, you gotta be careful with the bench, right? Sometimes the bench can actually cook the deadlift even more, so you might have to deadlift after you squat.
Oh, so that was my next question.
Oh,
good.
On my secondary SBD day, I do squat, deadlift, and then bench. Because whenever I bench, I just get like super extended.
Yeah.
And then my deadlift does not feel as good.
No, I get that. And then the other thing is, like, for me personally, a lot of people, I want them, I actually think that it does for a lot of people, especially as they lift more and more technique heavy, it gives them a more accurate predictor of what they're good for. And then because the other thing is, if you taper, you don't do back downs on meet day, sometimes that actually results in you being able to do more or the same, at least as you did in training. So at least that I know what they're going to do on the meet. Not necessarily that they're going to do better, but at least the minimum they're going to hit, because that's what they hit in training. The rest day, like 2 or 3 blocks out. Yeah. But it's just like, for me, I would actually rather do squat, bench, and deadlift, just because I have to do that in a meet. So I want to see what happens. I want to be able to get myself out of those positions within a training session. So it's like for me, because like I've struggled to put things on the platform for so long, I'd rather know the strategies I have to use already to get out of the positions that an arched bench is going to put me in.
You have SBD in your training, right? Secondary.
Yes. No, primary.
Or it's both, right?
I have, primary squat, primary bench, and secondary.
Yeah, okay.
On Fridays, yes.
Yeah, I was just going to ask what you guys think of like reverse SBD days.
Great.
Like, do you guys kind of do that for your own clients too?
Literally, Janae Kovacs, my female 69, she does reverse SBD. She does, she does deadlift, squat, bench. The reason is her deadlift gets cooked by her squat. She gets extended in her squat because she squats a little bit more extended now. But she doesn't get that extended, but she gets a little bit. So the deadlift is so flexed, right? It needs to have a good amount of flexion and neutrality in her back, and she needs to have her adductors long and available. So if she squats, she'll lose a lot of that range of motion. But if she deadlifts first, her squat usually doesn't take that much of a hit. So she can squat good after that, and then she can bench after that, and her bench will be perfectly fine. So it really just allows her to get the most productive session and power all in one day. And the meet day, when we go to SBD, because she doesn't have back downs, there's really no issue.
Yeah. What about you?
I think whatever order is the most productive.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if the squat is really affecting the deadlift, then that's when we have the conversation. But I'd say normally it's lined up in the SBD order, and then we see if things are bleeding over into something.
Because I've heard like the argument that you brought up where like, oh, you should only do it this order because this is how you do it on meet. But I don't necessarily think that really matters too much in training, unless you're trying to figure out something.
I think if you can get training like really, really productive, then you can have the meet
I would
day.
rather more productivity too.
Yeah, I would rather have training be extremely productive, and then meet day will still pan out pretty well. Yeah. If training was
I do
truly
much
productive.
less people where it's like I make them do SBD just like in that order. I think most of the time it's SDB rather than SBD.
I've always liked SDB for my own training, just because it's like my lower body is a little more warm as well. And then the bench afterwards is usually not primary.
Yeah.
So it's not anything too crazy, and I can still get it done.
I definitely like it only for me. Like, really, if I were to think about it, I don't really have any of my athletes where I'm like, you have to do it in SBD order.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, do whatever order is the most productive.
Yeah.
I like to be flexible with that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because, I just do it because I haven't been able to put what I want on the platform. And I just feel like if I can figure out how to solve issues within a training session, probably figure out how to solve them within a meet, or like get out of these positions. Because bench will extend you. So if I want to be good at deadlifting after I bench, I have to figure out how to be able to how to deadlift good after I bench.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Anything else you want to add on SBD days?
No,
I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
We can go on to the
That's
next topic.
Okay. So next topic will be training through injuries.
Is there like a middle rating?
Just rated.
Rated.
Yeah.
We can make a middle rating.
Yeah.
We make the rules on this podcast.
Let me just put. Where's the red one?
You can put both colors.
No, I think I'll put one. I know too much about this, but I'll give some reasons. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Ah.
All right.
I thought you would put underrated.
Yeah. So me and Eric,
Surprised.
if you're not watching, we both put underrated, and then Alex over here with
Put overrated.
overrated. Okay. I guess you want to explain this one?
Yeah, I'll explain this one first. I think that a lot of these injuries, which I'm sure Alex and I share the same opinion on this, a lot of these injuries can come from a certain pattern acting up, and I see things as you can either go down in weight, or you can make it much better and make this pattern a lot better. And if we can make the pattern better in a session, and maybe we do a drill, or maybe we do some cueing to get into a pain-free position, then it can keep this weight going, and we don't have to take time off and go lighter for an extended period of time. But that also does require some form of resilience, where like finding that cue, finding that drill, finding that positioning in the moment, there might be aches popping up that very much do hurt. But if we can get past that hurdle, and especially if we can get past that hurdle really quickly, then it can have this training be very productive.
Yeah.
I agree with that, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, I am a big proponent of training while you're injured, but I also have but I mainly am going to talk about it through the lens of like SBD movements itself. Because it's like, I put overrated, right? Because I think, like, the way I look at injuries, lots of times I've seen so many injuries where it's like, you can keep buying the pattern, right, of a stock that's essentially falling. And what's that going to do for you? It's going to make you pattern even worse. Like, I've seen it too often where it's like, okay, you keep doing the same pattern, but it's like, just because you keep going through the same ranges of motion every single time doesn't mean you're going to get better at those ranges of motion, even if the weight goes down all the time. I'm not saying that. I think that most of the time you should just go down and wait, try to figure out how to better adjust so that you can force yourself into that good pattern. But what happens when that doesn't work? What happens when you're still extending? What happens when you're still in your right and you have lowered the weight so much? You have to buy a different pattern or a different position in order to get better. So that's why I'm like, training while injured is overrated for some extent, because, and specifically in the context of the SBD movements, I'm not saying like accessories or like bodybuilding things or drills or different movements. I'm saying squat, bench, and deadlift themselves, they have a very specific pattern. It's like, if you're moving bad enough, you're only going to continue to move worse until things come crashing down even more. And it's like, that's why people end up injured for so long sometimes, because they keep buying a pattern where they haven't fixed, they go down in weight, their pattern here's a little bit, and then they push again. Or they go down in weight, and then they keep the same pattern. They just went down in weight so the pattern can offload a little bit better, because weight is definitely a determinant of whether you load structures correctly or more symmetric. But you have to force a lot of these corrections. Like, let's say you're squatting to your right. Lots of times you have to force more into your left hard. And that takes time to autocorrect. That takes time for the brain to fix. Drills can help with that, but sometimes even that can't help. Sometimes you need a completely different movement You just need split squats or like a belt squat or an SSB squat. I've seen so many cases where you might just have to take out a whole day of squatting and replace it with another movement that covers those bases that you're missing. And you might have to suffer, because you can out buff training if you move good enough, is the thing. Like, you don't necessarily have to be so specific. If you want the 1-to-1 ratio from squat to deadlift or bench to bench, right? But you don't necessarily have to always do that. Like, you can literally squat once a week if you move good enough. Even if you feel detrained, if you still move good enough, it doesn't matter because you're still stronger than when you were weaker or moving bad. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like, it's overrated. But I'm only talking about the context of training SBD. I'm not talking about the context of like training in general, just to make my point clear.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, I was definitely leaning more towards like what you were thinking. And I guess there's more context too, because it's very open-ended. Like, what if someone's like 4 months out, then they have to train while injured.
But that's another thing I actually wanted to add, right? Like, if you're close to a meet and you're really hurt, why are we still doing the meet? Yeah. I'm more of the mindset now. It's like you're pulling out. Unless it's like a world championship or like the biggest meet of your life, you have nothing to lose. You have time on your side. It's like, why are we making? Because I've done this too many times too in my own powerlifting. It's like I was moving really good, and then I started moving really bad, and I got really, really hurt, and I was like, oh, I'll just do meet still, try to work through it. Only results in you moving worse and degrading the time it takes you to get back to full strength. Then I did another meet after that. Because I was like, okay, get me a month off. Felt a little bit better. Should have taken like 5 or 6 months from competing. And then every time I competed, the patterns just get worse because you have to load more in order to compete. Like, powerlifting is a sport of loading more. So if you're loading more, you're not fixing your pattern. Where it's like, if I had just spent these months, like in that past time, going really light, probably would have never really had that many issues. But competing can cause the most issues because the load goes up, and load dictates compensations.
Yeah, right. I think the main reason why I put underrated also kind of relates to what you're saying, is like you kind of have to have a plan depending on the severity of it. Because what you're saying, right? Like, let's say this is a reoccurring problem and you notice it and you're like, okay, now we have to go to that more extreme end. We might have to remove one of the squat days and really work on your pattern. Where I do think for some injuries, depending on the severity, let's say you take like a week off and things aren't really necessarily getting better, you probably have to do some sort of drill or something to kind of fix this problem, because taking off of training isn't really going to do you much. Like, if you take like 2 weeks off, you'll probably just go back in the gym, like bad pattern. But like, you really should try to figure it out, but also plan it in a way where you're able to progress the weight gradually without like, we're there again. And
100%. It's more like, I guess with my take, it's more like I'm looking at training as in going to a meet and training SBD movements. But not necessarily in the fact of like, I'm skipping training completely. I would never bias towards actually completely stopping training. I think you should still be in the gym trying to address the issues at hand.
So I agree with that.
So I guess we almost all share the same exact opinion.
Yeah, lots of different kinds of fixes.
Because I've seen where you're coming from a lot, where like, bro, you got to just stop. Like, you just suck at deadlifting. Like, just stop.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah. And then I've also seen it on my end where someone's like, oh, I hurt my back. I just don't want to lift anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
Yeah, I hate that one.
That one's like the hardest to convince someone to keep lifting when they say something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So
we can go to the next one, which kind of ties in a way.
In a way.
Yeah. Variations.
Yeah, variations.
We got 3 different answers.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. I put rated. You put overrated.
I put overrated.
And you put underrated. All right. You want to start?
Yeah, I mean, for variations, I think in general they address the quality that people lack. Sometimes you need that external cueing to get people to do a specific action or task. So I really like when people are hurt to either slow down the movement or load limit it, and variations can do that. I also think in general, sometimes these variations like give people something to try harder on, or something to just push themselves more. Like, load things. Because like if you have to anticipate that you pause, you're going to try harder to control your squat. Or if you have to anticipate that you have to tempo your squat, you're going to load your legs even more, really just like tension your whole body. So I like those. Or same thing for pause deadlift. Sometimes the pause deadlift, people, to stop it, they'll open up more. It'll actually make them load both legs because a pause will not feel good if you're either loading it too heavy or if you're loading it unevenly. Mm-hmm. So I really think they're underrated because they fix a lot of the movement issues that someone might have. Or like let's even like think about a SBD bench. So let's say somebody can't touch their chest completely. That might provide the relief that they need. Or somebody doesn't know how to control the tension on their chest. Yeah. SBD might fix that issue.
I see you doing a lot of block pressing for your clients.
Exactly, and right, that's another reason. I think they're underrated because like you can work ranges that if they work the full range of motion, they'd be super fatigued because it's like still a game of fatigue management. But you need to work certain muscles more than others because it's like what's the limiter on like lots of these people that are using block presses benches? It's like load. You can't load that much to the chest, or you're getting fried. Mm-hmm. But you need more lockout strength. That block press can really help with that top end. And it's not even as specific as you would think. It just gives you a little bit more sport-specific hypertrophy. So I find them pretty underrated.
Okay.
For movement and just addressing weaker muscles.
Do you think you would ever run the slingshot then?
I have.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Oh,
I'm running it on Ain't Like Mike's bench right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's working pretty well because he sinks now, and the slingshot allows you to sink it into your chest versus like just block press, right? And then so he can have like a really heavy exposure, get it in his hands, just like feel the weight, have a little bit of that lockout top end, but he doesn't have to work his chest, which his chest is what gets really fried really quick. Like he has a really weak and really slow recovering chest, but his triceps recover really fast.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can we get that top end portion stronger? Like his problem right now isn't even off the chest because he sinks, does like a slight sink, so he can like push anything off his chest. Now his problem is the triceps. That's how he can get his bench better. By really improving that range of motion. It has been improving. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if that guy beats his 67.5 kilo PR at 59.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does the slingshot like tuck you?
It does a little bit, but he benches a little bit tucked.
Oh, okay. So it's not
that bad.
It's not too bad.
It mimics his pattern well. Like it has to mimic the pattern a lot. Like if it doesn't, it could be bad news.
Yeah, well, it's just like if someone's super flared, then they try and get in the slingshot, it'll put them a little more tucked. But if it's already like not too bad,
I think he's like normal, like in between tucked and flared.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Why do you think it's overrated, Eric?
I put overrated because I'm a big fan. It ties in with what I was saying about training through injuries. I really want to make this SBD looking really, really good. And I'll usually start with some sort of cueing or some sort of drill to try and improve the squat, bench, or deadlift. But lately, if it's like sometimes things just don't click for whatever reason, or some drills it's not working like you think it would be working. And that's where I think the variations really can come into play. But I prefer to get it working with a little more hyper specificity first, and then having the accessories be the working the weak links.
Yeah.
Okay. 1-to-1 ratio is definitely ideal.
Yeah, I put rated because it's kind of like a combination of both of your reasoning, to be honest. Like, I usually start with cues just because if someone's able to grasp it, it's an easier fix. And then drills will usually help. But then if I just notice like, hey, this person might not have the best athleticism, respectfully, then I feel like that's where the variations can really help. And then also for reasons like what you were saying, where let's say like we need someone to like load a certain range of motion or something like that, or practice in a certain range of motion, like that's where the variations can help. Or I guess like injury, right? Like for me, like I guess the tempo bench, or not tempo bench, tempo squat on my secondary day, that's really helped me be a little more even when I'm bracing through the hole. But it's not something where I like feel like I necessarily need, but it definitely helped. So I think on one end they do help, but then on another end, people will usually try to use the variation first to fix a problem, and I think that's when it becomes a problem. That's when it's overrated. So that's my take as well. All right.
Awesome. Next topic.
The program itself.
The program. Oh, I thought you grabbed a different color.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
All the same answer.
The first one, all the same answer.
Yeah.
This might be the only one, all the same answer.
Honestly.
But we all put underrated.
Well,
So
lots of big things there.
Lots of big things there.
So I think
Go first, yeah.
we were talking about this with D-Shell in our last podcast, but like the program itself can be the cause and effect of someone's technique. And then also like your strength is completely determined by this like golden microcycle that we're all on right now.
I think I've seen it make a lot of people, and I've seen it break a lot of people.
Yeah,
I literally saw this
right.
one post that just made me angry. What was it? One of these good lifters was like, or like, we're not a good lifter. I saw like this one guy. He was like,
Not a good lifter.
Well, a lot of good lifters reposted it, and they were like,
okay.
you see a lot of good lifters running crap programs, but not a lot of good programs with a lot of crap lifters. And I'm like, bro, they just move so good. Their program has to work somewhat. It's like you can't just move.
There's truth to every program.
There's truth to every program.
Like
right?
even whenever
It's how you run it too.
Yeah.
I also think a lot of these good lifters are running RPE only half the time, so it's like they can kind of choose whatever they want. And
But then they end up choosing the right numbers.
The right numbers.
Yeah. And then it becomes really
and
good
then the program ends up running how they want it to run. It ends up running like a good program. Isn't that crazy? Like they end up creating these good patterns. So at the end of the day, the program dictates how you move. It's just crazy. But that really made me angry actually, because I'm like, okay, yeah, you can put in all this effort, but if your program sucks, you're still gonna die.
I've seen very beginner lifters do these powerlifting programs where it's all RPE based, but then they have it all be submax.
Yes.
And then there's just like no gains coming from that because it's too submax and they're too beginner, too submax, no needle moving. But that is still the program breaking this. It's messing up this whole progress because now there's no progress.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess like story time for me, like the first program or the second program I tried to follow was like someone from like Bar Shaco, I guess like some Western guy. And I was like, this was like I was going into my second year of lifting. Yeah, that program like sucked for me. Like,
Oh my God.
Like I couldn't do anything. But yeah. No.
You were done for, twin.
Yeah, it was. But I guess like what would the common things people would say like, oh, like the program's like overrated, like that you guys have seen. Maybe you guys want.
I mean, I do think the mindset and mentality plays a big role, which is different than the program itself. But
100%.
But I also think if someone's training is going bad, and then there are programming changes that are made, and now it starts to go a little better, and then they become in the mindset of like, hey, this is starting to go better. I'm in a very good mood. I'm very happy to train now. Then training can go really, really better. But that also started because the program got better.
Yeah, I see. So it always, I mean, I agree. Like it always starts with the program.
And even when there is someone who has a bad program, but they're very like they're very bought in, and now things are working. Like if it's working, then there's still some truth to the program that you might want to keep, and maybe you don't even completely change it because something is working somewhere, and we want to hold on to that. What is working?
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Anything else?
No, we covered all the good points.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
agree.
Okay.
We all agree on this.
Yeah.
But I just think it's like too many good lifters actually don't understand how their stuff is working. They're like, I try harder. But it's like, damn, you move so good. If you just try harder, it's going to work. They're going to be like, oh, I just get my nutrition right. I actually think nutrition might be so much more overrated than like the program itself.
I think it's very important for an athlete to have good nutrition.
That eats 30 grams of protein and he pulls 290 for 3, just squatted 230 for 4. And and he's a 74 kilo lifter. No muscle. Sorry, Jackie Vong. I'm so sorry.
Well, the program's so strong.
Yeah.
The program and the movement
Yeah,
are
the
getting good.
movement's
So it's
getting
like
better. So it's helping the program to.
he just does not eat. He does not.
I mean, I've seen people where they
But that-
have said program and then they start trying hard on the nutrition.
And the
but
thing is, I think when he
hasn't
tries
made
harder,
the needle
things
move.
go worse.
I guess
he
keep
has to
eating
be like nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
kilograms of
Yeah.
protein.
So it's like,
Yeah.
do I think like the program plays a big role? Yeah, because this guy was on a boards program before. Things were going way worse.
Even with the program, if we have, if we go in a complete opposite direction and it's like, okay, we're only going to do one set of squat a week, we're only going to do one set of deadlift, we're only going to do one set of bench, then nothing will progress.
Exactly.
But that's a very extreme case of like, hey, we're doing nothing on this program and now nothing's progressing.
Exactly.
And so the program matters.
Because like at the end of the day, everybody's still just a person, right? They have to fit specific molds that work for their body. Because not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like the customizable part. It's the part that's very unique.
Yeah.
How much
Yeah.
of it do you think is unique? Like if you had to put a number on it, where there's this framework you have, and then we have to customize the last 50%, the last 80%,
That's
the
so
last
interesting because
20%.
it's like whenever I write someone's program, talk to them about what they were running before. Is the first thing. So I look at their old program and what was working, what was not working. So I keep a similar framework, but I think the first part is like, I think it's all just so unique. Like I never just write one thing and I'm like, I have this base framework which I'm going to run. The only thing I tend to find myself doing a lot is like giving similar rep ranges for secondary deadlift and squat when I start with someone, because like
on
don't-
both secondary days?
Yeah,
Okay.
like I usually give squat 6s and deadlifts pause 6s to start with someone, because like I don't know what's gonna happen. That rep range is really good for telling me some things. But like in terms of where I'm placing it relative to the primary SBD, or where I'm placing it within the program, or what accessories I'm doing, or like the spacing, it all differs. It all just depends on the person. So it's like I don't necessarily have like a framework I follow. I more so just have the rep range that is the most middle, that gives me the best results. Actually, 5s would give me a little bit more middle, but I want a little bit more fitness usually.
Yeah. I think 6 is a good mid-range for
Yes.
what?
For figuring
For
some stuff out. 'Cause
secondary,
then you
yeah.
can ask yourself the question, it's like, what would happen if this person did 5s? Or what would happen if they added another rep? Like 7s or 8s, because you add 1 rep, 7s go well. And you're like, damn, maybe I should add another rep. 8s go well. Maybe I should add another one. Then we just getting diabolical.
Yeah. All right.
We can go to the next topic.
Okay. Hook grip.
Hook grip. What do you want to put? Back to disagreeing.
This is funny because I actually do this. So I'll put.
I don't even do this.
I don't do
This
this.
is why it's even funnier.
Overrated.
Underrated.
Overrated.
Yeah.
I don't pull hook.
Yeah.
I don't pull hook,
I pull hook.
but I feel overrated.
Yeah.
If I could pull hook, I would be so happy.
Oh, why don't you pull hook?
Yeah.
Because my thumb's really small. Like I try like every block.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
Never possible.
Just too much pain. It doesn't never.
no,
sets
it's not
in
even the
right.
pain. It's that it'll slip out when it gets too heavy.
Mhm.
Because like I'll hold it and then my thumb covers such a small. I have to rotate so inwards too.
Yeah.
in order
So
to
that's
get it.
actually the reason why I also think it's overrated, is because so many powerlifters just like aren't really built for, like, finger length wise, like not built for a hook. Where like whenever I should say, like, I started pulling hook because back in like 2019 or whatever, everyone was doing hook and they were saying
Yeah,
like,
it's had its trends.
yeah, like,
I feel like right now it's not super trendy.
nah, but then
Not
like
as trendy.
positionally wise, I feel like a lot of people struggle to even set their hook.
Mhm.
And then they also just kind of like lose their brace, and like they kind of start forgetting some of these other things that they need to be thinking about, and they focus too much on the hook. At least for my clients, and then I had them go like shy away, and then the force production just went up.
I get that.
Yeah,
I can see
and
that.
That's why I was kind of like, well, I feel like for hook, maybe it's not, the trade-off isn't necessarily the best for force production.
I feel like it's really good for long arm, lanky people, but not everyone is long arm.
I'm long armed and
lanky.
lanky.
You are. Yeah, that's why I said like, why don't you pull? Look,
But it's the FUB.
but
But I get it.
I haven't seen it like save a lot of people's deadlifts or like absolutely make it.
See, I've seen the opposite.
Really?
I've seen it make and break a lot of people.
I've seen it break a lot of people, and I've seen
it make more people than break.
Appropriately help other
I've seen
people.
one person that no longer works with me that one time bombed out at a meet and it broke him.
I don't know,
that's
man.
not
I love
good.
pulling the smooth though, so I get it. I get like I'm gonna sink the hook. But
It's better if you pull on the smooth because you don't really
Yeah.
see anyone pulling mixed and on the smooth.
yeah,
That
right,
one's-
right.
Yeah, that's not as common for
Mhm.
sure. I definitely think it's underrated because main buff it has is symmetry.
Yeah.
I
It does have that.
love the symmetry. I literally have people pulling straps lots of times to help with their symmetry because it evens them out. Like the straps allow you to be a lot more even. Hook allows you to be the most even if you can do it, especially on the heavier loads. If you can, like that's why I'm like, if I could pull hook, I think it would be so much better for me because I wouldn't twist at all. Well, I mean a little bit, but it would be much.
I would
less.
think it'd be good for you if it was
Yes.
if the thumbs were holding up well.
Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we're not
right.
pulling hook.
Yeah.
But lots of these people, the straps translate better than if they didn't pull hook. And then also too, it's just I find that these people, just what you're talking about losing your brace. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
It makes people not have a brace. Sometimes you don't want a brace on deadlift
Yeah.
much at all. You just want to take a breath. These people forget about it. I'm like, that's perfect. Makes them longer,
Yeah.
lankier. Less brace for some people is perfect, especially if I find they're already getting their brace just from already being somewhat extended and having like a little bit more flexion or a rounded back. You can find hook super useful. Other things that I think are good about hook is that, especially for hook pullers, it allows you sometimes to put in more power if you swing in harder. I think people don't talk about this, but hook and mixed, low-key pulled very differently. Mixed, I find it's like more you have one go and you already have to be in your legs. And yeah, you could definitely open a good bit more with mixed and you have to be a little bit more open bias. But with hook, I find that if you set your hook and swing in as hard as possible, it tends to work really well with the force production. So there's different ways of pulling it,
Yeah.
which is like what people don't realize. Like they're actually so different. Obviously, there's people that have long enough arms mixed or have short enough arms hook where they have to open, but it's just I tend to see the majority of people that pull hook and mix, they pull very differently.
Yeah, I agree too. Like even if you just looked at any like powerlifting meet, you would see like how aggressive most mixed pullers are. But then
I've seen the tension in the
yeah,
arms be a little different.
yeah,
There's a little more like actual grip with mix,
Yep.
but hook is
yeah,
really relaxed and then slowly ramping into it.
yeah, like
Well,
Yep.
still the wedge being fast, but the tension in the arms wise.
yeah,
Mhm, I agree, like 100%. Because like especially with hook, it's like once it's set, it's like it's not coming out if you set it right.
Mhm.
If you set it wrong, that's when it could come out. But you shouldn't actually have much grip issues with hook if you're doing it right.
yeah,
Like it should just hurt.
yeah,
But it
right.
shouldn't have that many grip issues because you're leveraging your body to actually hold it. That's why pulling hook is actually so dependent, like Theo said, on your body leverages. Because if you can't pull it right, you are gonna have. That's how you know it's probably not for you because you're not leveraging your thumb.
Yeah.
It shouldn't come undone.
Because I mean, it's exactly what you said. Like the first thing was I was pulling with straps one day, and then I realized how much more symmetrical I was, and I just felt better. So then I switched to hook. It took a little bit of time because of the pain, but not like really, really long. But then eventually I got to the point where I was like, well, I feel like I'm never going to drop anything. I should just try the smooth. And it worked out. So
You know, funny enough, I actually think a lot of the people that grip like somewhat smooth, they have even better leverage hook too.
yeah. So that's how it is for me because I feel like I'm holding it like not even.
Because that
all the way
grip
in.
is actually still thickness, like a little bit of thickness. But if you
Yeah.
have the smooth, it's the thinnest part of the bar.
Mhm.
So you get even more contact with it with having less to rotate inwards.
Yeah. But okay, that's interesting. Do you have a lot of your clients like trying to switch over? Have you noticed this?
I encourage it if they want to try it.
Yeah.
I'm always for it. It always makes things. I found with a lot of these people that are really like twisty or like missing on rotation that it fixes a lot of things.
What about you?
I have a good chunk wanting to try it, and then usually we'll try it for. I usually want it to be quick because we
Yeah.
can usually determine whether it's good or not pretty quickly. And then usually after 2 or 3 sessions, then we make the deciding factor.
I've seen a lot of your clients deadlift. They're pretty leveraged, not gonna lie.
And then they become efficient, so it makes it even better.
Yeah. Let's say I feel like I'm in that upswing of a lot of conventional pullers right now. So,
Conventional
yeah.
hook is always the interesting one.
I got one guy conventional hook. Yeah.
all right. Okay.
Okay. And then wrist IR
Mm.
on bench. This was also a little more trendy
Oh,
back
man.
in the
Yeah.
back in the day. But now it's died down a bit.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we did it again. Overrated.
Overrated.
Overrated for all.
Heck.
It's funny. I was like just talking to him about this. I think more on it maybe was another episode, but like this whole idea of like what people think an efficient technique is, and it kind of like sparked this whole like super big wrist IR on bench when like half these lifters don't even need it. So
No, I agree. And like even me, like one of the things I like about powerlifting for me is like I'm on this journey to try to raw minimize everything I do.
yeah,
And this is the one thing I'm like so against. I'm for the wide squats, the wide deadlift, the rounded back on deadlift, trying to start a little bit more pre-hinged on squat. Anything you can do to decrease the range of motion, I'm for except for this. Why am I so against this? Because people almost never have the right amount of shoulder mobility to do this right. And it's such a weaker position for them. Like I find it just so much harder to stack this way, so much more inconsistent, so much more issues with your fingers not being on the bar. It's just such a less powerful position consistently.
You need to have like a really, really, really good arch in order for things to end up being stacked.
Yes.
But it's like no one has that. It's very rare to see.
Even my one
some,
client that has that isn't like
yeah,
as
and
crazy
sometimes
anymore.
it's still not as good as you would think it would be.
creates more problems, I find.
It creates more problems.
yeah.
That's how I see it. I don't see it as fixing a lot of things. I'm a big fan of the
Wrist extension.
the cock back,
Yep.
and then maybe a little bit of IR, but that's about it.
I don't like any IR.
Really, I
Just have
like
mine cocked back.
the cock back and then a tad bit.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's
you have more of an arch too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I think the more arch you have, the better it is. Because it's like my arch, it's not very good.
Mhm.
Right. Like the more extreme ends you'll see a little
Yeah.
bit more. But I remember, back in like 2021, 2022, this was like the whole big thing. Everyone had that
Well, it felt good at
extreme
first. It felt good at like 70, 80%, and then you go to
Yeah.
90%, and it's like, what the heck was that? And then you go to 100%, and it hurts, and you die.
It feels better when the weight is lighter.
Right.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, because I used to like try to encourage it like back in the
So
day.
like I used to do
and I was
it.
like,
and
I would
then,
encourage it too, actually,
yeah,
because
right.
I'm all for the raw minimizing.
Mhm.
But I find like past that 160 bench point, this is usually not very productive.
right.
Yeah. Now I don't promote it
Yeah.
really
So I guess
at all.
if someone is listening and they have like a ton of IR, would y'all be encouraging them to like maybe just
I would say try and chill.
yeah.
I'd say try and chill. It's gonna result, especially now that
Right.
we're moving to elbow depth times.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
You're gonna be hard pressed.
Yeah. So
to keep
there's
doing
even less incentive to do it
Even
now.
less. Even less.
That's a good point. Elbow depth. Elbow depth is
That's
saving
deal
everyone.
with this a lot.
That's probably why the IR isn't even as big of a trend anymore.
Nope.
Good.
Yeah, whatever that would have got
They killed
introduced.
it.
Yeah.
That's the one good. See, I think elbow depth might be the dumbest rule though ever of all time. Gosh, that
Yeah,
rule.
didn't fix the arching problem.
Did not.
Yeah, just a lot of playing around it.
Funky
Yeah.
solutions.
Yep. Okay, so
Alright.
that one was also an easy one. Next one,
Go.
arching.
Oh yes.
Ties in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you can go first. Oh, boy.
I feel like this one, I don't know. There's so many directions. Yeah.
Plot twist. Alright.
This guy.
Oh, wait, what'd I say? Wait. I put green. Okay, there you go.
All right. So for arching, we all put underrated.
Underrated.
Yeah, arch that back. Are
Y'all,
you gonna be arching that back?
I,
Are you good at this?
I do be arching my back.
Yeah, arch that back, white boy.
But it's very like this. Also, I've seen this just help out so many people,
yeah.
and
I know.
it's just too good. But getting that last little bit is really hard for a lot of people, and that requires a lot of technical mastery. But then if they do that, it can really just have the next like 5+ blocks, random number, but 5+ blocks just go extremely well, and that's a lot of blocks.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I think arching too, it just like determines so much of your setup.
It determines a lot of how strong someone will be.
Yeah.
Like it determines how much their max is going to be in their time powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if someone's just truly flat back and they're never ever going to get a bigger arch, it's kind of like you're going to cap out at this weight and that's it.
Yeah. So I guess the other thing is, would you guys prefer someone to have like a slightly less arch, but maybe more leg drive, or like a higher arch and then like
more leg drive?
More leg drive.
More leg drive.
Well, the leg drive
So,
like helps create the arch.
yeah, right.
So if we don't even have the leg drive, then the arch probably isn't going to be that good. And also, like you can, if you have an arch but with no leg drive, then there's not really any power.
Yeah.
And then the bench also struggles to progress and dies. But the leg drive is too powerful.
Yeah.
We need the leg drive.
We need the leg
over
drive.
the arch. The leg drive creates arch.
Everyone already believes we need the leg drive. So everyone would vote that leg drive is underrated. But the arching is where you get more people voting.
Dude, I once had a guy at Compound tell me that leg drive.
Compound has good people. So I'm surprised it was that
This
Compound.
guy was, or he goes to Compound, right? Maybe he didn't go to Compound at the time. He was like, leg drive, you're not supposed to really be trying on leg drive as hard as you think. He's like, you don't need leg drive that bad. I'm like, okay, man. Okay.
That's crazy.
That's the whole
like
story.
in most people's setups, like you're using your leg drive to make your arch.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
interesting
wild.
take.
Yeah,
I've had a few athletes where they might have like a medium arch or not much of an arch, but they have zero leg drive, and I just see the arch as like this part doesn't even matter anymore because these legs aren't working, and we really need to get these legs going.
But it's also interesting because you always got to talk to people. Because maybe that guy, he was just maybe he ever had a point where he was too much leg drive and that caused issues. Because I've seen it.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen it that much, but I'm sure I can think of a scenario where having too much leg drive for someone, because that's all they're cueing, can literally kill their bench. Because you can do anything wrong. You can do anything that's supposed to be right and do it wrong enough. You can always do something wrong enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, arch is great. I've seen it. The main thing I see it do a lot is people that move bad. It's like they move good now because they have this arch.
Yeah. It's like if they go too deep, then all this unevenness happens. But if we can get the arch a tad bit higher, then we never go that deep. And now we don't have this unevenness anymore.
Yeah, like fixes all. You can move
so we
bad
we don't even need to fix being even. We just need to arch max a little bit
goated.
Right. Yeah. I like 90% of bench problems can be solved from the initial setup.
Arch a little more and it'll fix
like,
90% of bench problems.
Like arching. So it's like it all ties in, right? Because if you're driving harder with your feet, then you'll get a higher arch. Or, depending on your shin angle too, obviously. But like so many nuances to that where it's like, but it all does start with the arch.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Which all starts with the leg drive.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Good topic. Next topic. Prescribed numbers on someone's program.
Numbers. Okay.
Wait, I think you put the wrong color.
Oh, wait, yeah, I did.
Or wrong name. Okay.
That's funny. Oh, 3, 2, 1.
Prescribed numbers.
Overrated. Me and Eric, and then underrated.
Underrated for Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is underrated for a couple of reasons. One, you have to teach them how to use these numbers because I think prescribed numbers are like easy if you think of it like I can go over under it. Like it's just like with any program, you have to teach people how to run it. Is the first thing, because it's like I give people numbers because it's the idea of what we need to hit. But I think people, if they don't feel good enough, they should go below. If they feel really good, they could go above. But it's like I like to think of things. I don't even think RP is like a real thing. I don't even think your body knows what an RPE 6 is. It just knows easy, hard, fast, slow. You know, and it's like good pattern, bad pattern. It's like pattern I remember, pattern I don't remember. So I think of it in those extremes. So it's like that's why I'm just like, okay, we just want to make sure that it's easy, but it's going up. So it gives them like an idea. But where I really think it plays a role is in the weaker days or the smaller back down sets where it's like each block, you can keep chipping them away if you prescribe. Like you prescribe the number, it's like you can progressive overload them the most. Because it's like what I'll do is like one block, for example, a person will take 200 back down deadlift, then 210, then 220, then 230, right? As their 2x6. Next block, maybe we add 2.5, but keep the reps the same. And the block after that, maybe we add freaking a rep, but we keep the weight the same, right? And that's how I'd like to do progressive overload. It just makes it so easy that I always prescribe the numbers because I can always control that they're going up over time versus someone just feels bad and the numbers aren't going up. You have to do more. It has to be somewhat easy for you to get stronger. It's like this skill of prescribing numbers takes work though. Like you can't just prescribe a number that's too heavy. And if you do prescribe numbers, you have to make sure that you're checking in that the back downs aren't too hard or too easy, that they're the appropriate amount. And sometimes they have to be too easy. It just depends on the person. But you really have to be in touch with what your athletes are doing or else they're going to cook themselves. Like it's something where it's like it forces you to figure out what's going on in the background.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I put overrated because I do think there's still an aspect of the athlete needs to learn how to... They need to have appropriate numbers picked out throughout the whole block, but a lot of the times when they first start, they're already doing a certain amount of numbers, and I'll either say like, hey, keep these ranges about the same for this block, or let's chill a little bit more on this day, or let's push these a little bit harder. And then I'll still tell them this is an idea of how we want to run these numbers, and then eventually we see whether it's good or bad. But I've also had it to where they run some wacky numbers, but then it turns out being really good. And I'm like, I don't think I would have thought of that if I were to just write out these prescribed numbers. I've also seen it where they do wacky numbers and it turns out really bad. Then it's like, hey, we need to not do these wacky numbers anymore. But I also think it's good for them to learn how to pick their numbers. And then if they truly find what's good, they're going to keep doing what's good because the athlete wants to make progress. So they'll do what they think is good for them.
Yeah. Okay. So I screwed up. I was supposed to put underrated. But basically the reasoning for me is it's about the pacing, I would say. Like back downs wise, like I want to have a good progression in someone's macro, like knowing like, hey, if you hit these numbers, like I can see the full control of like you can kind of hit whatever you want, maybe on the top end, but then like that might dictate that the back downs are too heavy, like doing a percent drop. But I would rather just have it be fixed, knowing that you're going to be doing really well with this prescribed number that you have. And then also what you mentioned on the secondary day, like for me, like I think some people get too hyper fixated on the actual RPE itself, and they kind of miss the point of like, hey, I'm just looking for the number that's going to make the next day show up better. And that might be a little bit too much for people on just like not having anything. But then there's also the aspect of like, I do like starting with no prescribed numbers except for maybe some back downs, just because I want them to see what they can do and also learn.
I agree with that. I think you should start most people on RPE and then let them grow into the prescribed numbers.
Right.
I do the same thing because it's like, dude, I don't know what numbers you're good for out the bat.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I guess it just depends on their lifter maturity too.
Yeah. If they're having a really hard time with figuring out the numbers, then I'll give them prescribed numbers. But of course, I want them to learn so that we can keep the momentum going when we figure out like what's good prescribed number or what good numbers are and what's bad numbers.
Okay.
Next topic. These next two,
Yeah.
Alex picked.
Okay.
Interesting.
Machine work.
And this is just machine work at the gym. Like
Yeah.
Like you can
Machines
think,
on
like chest press
accessories.
machine,
Yeah.
hamstring curl machine, seated hamstring curl machine, leg extension. These stable machines.
Yeah.
Chest supported row machine, shoulder press machine, versus like dumbbells. Or something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Underrated.
underrated for all three. I think we've agreed on three of them. All of us.
Yeah.
This one's good. I love machines. Machines, like, they're so stable.
They're very stable.
It's like,
They're very smooth.
yes, if you look at exercise,
There's a lot of good machines out there too now.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you look at exercise and lifting, it's like ground level machines and then squat, bench, deadlift. And then like other complex activities, maybe like I don't even say, maybe like jumping would be
What
like
is ground level?
Ground level is like PRI exercises.
Okay.
They're like those drills that you give people. That's like ground level. But machines are right between ground level and squat, bench, and deadlift. So they have good transference, I tend to see. They're really easy to do, don't require much stability or skill, but they have good carryover. They build muscles that are weaker without you compensating as bad.
Well, I think they're easier to progress too, because some of the dumbbell exercises, it's like you get to a certain point and then the
Stability.
five pounds becomes too much. Stability, it's hard.
I know, like, what is his name? Will. Oh, I obviously know his name, but like Will Ball. program.
Who's that guy again? What's
Will
his
Ball.
name?
Oh, Will Bone Square. That guy, they give him like pause dumbbells because it got so heavy.
Oh yeah, he's probably doing like
He's doing like
the max
130s or
dumbbells.
140s because
Yeah.
he was doing like 200s for reps on the dumbbells, and the stability became an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like an extreme case though.
I just think it's funny.
It's a funny
like,
case.
it's like, why that's so much weight on dumbbells? It's just like, it's crazy. I'd rather just do machines at that point.
That too. I think the machines are also like for the people who are a little tired after their SBD day,
No.
or they're tired just after
Thank
whatever
goodness.
compound.
But they also allow you
the
to like
machines are a little more.
fix your position.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever done a seated hamstring curl and lean forward? It like makes it so that you get out of extension because you stretch the hamstring. But you can fix yourself into that position using the machine versus like having to do some funky coordinated task. A B stance RDL or Jefferson curl. Like, it's not hard to coordinate them.
It's very easy to.
Is there a lot of, let's say, like either barbell or dumbbell movements you see people try to push that you think would be better if they switched over to a machine instead?
Lots of them.
Yeah.
Main one that I'm thinking of is like, I really see people do rows too often and like I would even say, I think cables I wouldn't consider necessarily a machine either because they do have some sort of stability component as well.
Yeah.
It's still easier than dumbbell.
Still easier than dumbbell.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if we were to look at it from that extreme, it's like, I think people are doing too much of I'd rather do like a lat pull down machine than a lat pull down with cable.
Yeah.
Right? Like a cable stack. Because you don't have anything supporting you or around you. But like a chest supported row machine is better than just like dumbbell rows on the side of a bench. Or like a lot of these like leg press machines or squat machines, they're also a lot more stable than the comp squat itself.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
like especially belt squat is like a good example of like a machine that like is better, that can be better for a lot of people because it isolates the back. You're in a more fixed position, more stability. B stance RDLs and hamstring curls. Seated hamstring curl, way more goated. Like, there's some like leg extension machines which are way better at building quads too than like a squat. It's just you're getting components out of it. I wouldn't say it replaces things completely. If I had to see like one accessory that I see pushed way often though that I think could be replaced by just doing a bunch of different machines is like RDL
Yeah.
or stiff leg deadlifts. I see those pushed way too often. I see too many people getting into extended patterns from those, which in my opinion, I haven't seen a lot of great things come from.
Yeah, I feel like I've drank that machine Kool-Aid. Like, even like two like machines, but one's from a different brand. Like, I even prefer like different brands.
Me too.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if you think about it too, like even from a hypertrophy standpoint with bodybuilders, there's a reason why they really like certain machines.
Because you can get stability and isolate
Yeah.
that muscle specifically.
Right.
You can
right.
get bigger.
Yeah, because that's what I'm focusing on. Like, I'm trying to get big.
The craft.
Yeah, the craft.
The
but,
craft.
yeah, I think.
Want to get petite.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But yeah, I feel like back like, I don't know, a while ago, people were kind of spewing like, oh, you know, like just you only need like dumbbells and a barbell.
I've been programming a lot more machine stuff lately,
right?
Just because it's. I also know some of the gyms that my athletes go to, and I'm like, man, this gym has a lot of nice machines. Let's just do those nice
Imperial
machines.
has some nice machines.
Yeah, Imperial, Rise has nice machines.
Rise has nice machines.
Compound,
not really.
For I feel like for what it is,
they
have the nice stuff.
I was like, they have some nice stuff.
It's not as big as
I
Imperial
was like,
Rise.
Like, wait a minute, Compound is way smaller.
Yeah. But what they have is good. Like, I feel like they picked the better options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like their, what is it? They have like this pendulum squat machine that's really good. They have
Compound?
Yeah.
I don't think they have pendulum.
Not a pendulum. It's like a, what is it? It's like a...
Oh, like a standing squat.
Standing squat machine that's really,
really
good. That one's so good.
About.
And then they have a really good belt squat too.
Yeah, they have really good belt squat.
That's like the one thing.
Those are the really good pieces of equipment. I mean, the other ones, I haven't really done other accessories there because the hamstring curl there is always used by someone. Now I think about it, that might be why.
That one, yeah.
That was my experience there. Because every time I go there, I'm like, dang, I really want to use the hamstring curl. And like, oh, there's like 3 people in line for the hamstring curl.
Yeah.
All right. Number 10.
Good job.
Moving on. PRI/PRI accessories like mouth guards, shoes, glasses.
This is a good one.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah, this one. I like the. I think the accessory part is what I'm going to highlight.
Yeah.
The accessory part, I'm not as into as you are, but I'll talk a little more about.
Like mouth guard, shoes, glasses. I think those things can be good.
Or are you talking about like lifting shoes, or are you talking about shoes
like the shoes that you wear outside
the gym? Okay.
Okay. 3. Wait, you got ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh.
Rabbit hole.
I'm the odd one out.
You can start first.
I'm the black sheep.
Yeah.
This is mainly for the PRI drills, and I know I was talking a good amount about drills earlier, but there are times where the drills just aren't enough. Or like I've seen them save a lot of people, but I've also seen them. I've seen people say like, "Hey, I need this certain drill," but then it does nothing. But a lot of it does come from a lack of knowledge, since a lot of these drills are pretty complicated and they are a lot more situational than you would think. So it's like, am I even doing the right drill for the right circumstance? And if that's not the case, then it doesn't really do much, or it can put you in a worse position than you want to be. But I normally see a lot of people doing a drill that is just they're not getting a lot of bang for their buck when doing
That's
that.
a big component that you have to address. You have to do the least amount of drills possible is one big
There are times like I'll be giving warm-ups to an athlete and then it's just like not really working, and I'll have to tell them, like, if we're going to try something new, I have to say, hey, remember to cut what we were doing before and try this
I've done
instead
this as well.
Because otherwise the list can get really long. I really don't like having more than 3 warm-up drills, because that's already a good amount. If it's more than 3, it's like it takes too long. Things could be offsetting other drills, and it's also just kind of a pain in the butt.
It also just depends on their like level in lifting, because like if someone's higher level and that too. This is why I'm about to go to my point, right? It's like if someone's higher level, and this is the game-changing aspect, by all means, I have somebody who like needs 5 drills at this current time, and if they don't have those 5 drills, they are not moving how they need to move. And they need to move good, like right now.
For someone like that, are you trying to get them in a position where later on they don't have to do 5 drills?
Well, obviously that's what we would want, but if they're on a time crunch, they have the biggest meet of their life, like Worlds, or something like that one. Right? You don't have a choice. And I think the PRI drills, if you don't have to change that much stuff, just do a drill to fix it, it's an instant game changer. So it's like, and that's why I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's underrated, because you can change the tide of battle. It's like if you were like in a football game and you have like a play call, right? Like you call this one good play, and it changes everything. Now, you might have won the game. So it's like, that's how I see these drills sometimes. And the same thing I see of these accessories or mouth guards or shoes, it's like you might be existing or working a certain job. You change your shoes to something that doesn't kill your feet. Now your feet aren't like doing some funky stuff in the gym. It's like I've seen people that walk around in iron toe boots all day. their feet are cooked. And it actually hurts their gym progress. But they switch to Hoka's or some PRI list shoe because they have this one list.
You got Crocs on.
I'm driving right now. I have Hoka's in my car.
Okay.
Yeah, the Crocs are actually so bad for me. When I don't have time because I was almost late.
That exact reason is why I also put underrated the accessories, because a lot of my clients who are nurses, or even my girlfriend who's like a vet tech, they get like 13 to 16K steps. And if she has like pronation or whatever, it can get pretty bad for her lower back. It
hurts. Yeah, exactly.
For the shoes, I see the shoes as more of a quality of life thing than PRI accessory.
It is a quality of life.
Yeah. Like the whole reason I got Brooks, I got them because they were on the PRI list. Funny enough, but I got them just because, like, well, if I'm gonna be walking or if I'm gonna be doing anything outside, I might as well just have some shoes that are comfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to be uncomfortable.
I guess what I would think about like all these things, right? The PRI especially is like all of these things that we've gone through today. Like, they're good or bad depending on how you use them. Like, there's no world where they're just bad, right? Like, that's what I like about rating things. It's like just for your current context. But PRI, in my context, has been like a game changer without having to change much of the program. Yeah. Like, especially if you know what to target. Obviously, I don't like giving too many, but if you know what to target or what their issue is inside or outside the gym, you can really just change everything without having to do some big program swing.
Yeah, right. Because, I mean, to build on your point, like, all of these things are tools at the end of the day. Well, except for the program, like, that's like,
but we all agreed on that one.
Right,
the tool.
Yeah, but like, the biggest thing is like we're not writing everything off. Like, that's when things are gonna be bad. But I guess to get where I'm gonna, like, I agree with both of what you're saying, because like what you're saying is like if someone has too many drills, PRI stuff, then it's like, what are we doing? Like, you're wasting time. But then on our end too, like, I've also seen a lot of people who've just done like a couple of drills and they're just like they're in the upswing of their training again. And that would be underrated for them. Yeah. And then like the PRI stuff, like for me, this is where my bias is like just having my retainers on more in the day. Like, that really helps like my neck. And
it does.
That is
a PRI accessory.
Yeah, like that did swing my training back to normal.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of where I see it. Like there is the balance, right? Like, it just depends on what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm the same way because like whenever I walk, I get my steps in my Brooks. I do not walk in my Crocs anymore because I have some weird stuff happening to my feet and my back whenever I walk around in Crocs too much. And it's like, it's sometimes the simplest things that are so obvious that make the biggest impact. Like your girlfriend, she probably, her shoes changing made everything feel better in life.
Yeah.
It's like my clients.
What did she used to wear?
It was like some cheap like Adidas shoes or something, and then
the Ultra Boost,
like something like that. And it was like worn down after like 8 years or whatever.
Oh my god!
And then like literally, I got her a pair of Hoka's, and she's like,
yes,
my back, my knees just feel 20 times better.
Those are like the popular nursing shoes, right?
Yeah, they are.
So. Okay. Yeah, I think. Well, I've been wearing the Brooks for a minute, but even before I was wearing those, I was wearing just a pair of sneakers that I tried on at the store, and I was like, oh, these are comfortable. Let me just get those, and those weren't too bad. But I've also just tried on some other shoes, and immediately in stepping in them, like, dude, there's no way I'm going a whole day wearing these shoes. These
other underrated PRI accessory. Sleeping on the floor.
Oh,
shout out Eddie Ard. That guy is so extended. But he sleeps on the floor, and a lot of his issues always get fixed.
Yeah, sleeping on the floor is about as neutral.
I think that's a cultural thing, though.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, there's part of that in Asia.
Yeah, like Japan,
Asia, Africa.
Culturally. But they still have sometimes they still have, sometimes it's like a very thin mat, which is basically just like a blanket on the floor. And then other times it's more of a...
I think he has the...
There's something.
I'm not actually sure, but I know that a lot of people just sleep on the floor and it feels better.
No, there was this one friend I had in college his back was always messed up. And then there's one night I'm spending the night at his place and I'm in the guest room and it's the mattress he was using in college. And this was after I did a meet. So my back is a little fried. And then I go lay down on this bed for 30 minutes, and I get up, and I just completely lock up. and I'm in so much pain. And then I ask him, I'm like, bro, this mattress is not good. What is up with this? And he said, oh yeah, that's the mattress I slept on in college when my back was always messed up. And I'm like, I can see why you were always hurt now, because if I had a mattress like that now, I would be so screwed. But that one, I kind of just got lucky with my mattress, and it just is fine to where things don't really hurt or anything like that. But some of the mattresses are soft, and then you just get so extended as you're laying in it.
I know.
And then you're like that for 8 hours, and then your back hurts. And it's not good. But if you sleep on the floor, then the floor is hard. It's not soft. You're not sinking into anything.
Go.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who have slept on the floor. That one is.
I just remembered it 'cause my client the other day, like a different client, was like, "Yeah, my shoulder hurts. Every time it hurts, I sleep on the floor." I'm like, "That's actually so good."
Yeah, that's crazy. There's a lot of money saved, dude.
I know. That's why I don't have a bed frame.
That's why. That's the
Yeah.
reason why.
That's why.
You don't just sleep on the squat rack in the middle of your.
No.
Yeah, you can sleep on the Alico bench. The Alico bench is a little too soft, huh?
No, I wouldn't
you
want to
sleeping
sleep on the
on
illegal bench.
You
Nah,
need
I'd
an
rather sleep on the
old
floor.
TSS pad.
Yeah.
I'd rather sleep on the floor or on my mattress.
All right. Okay. Anything else we want to add?
What about the PRI glasses? You wanna talk
Oh,
about
those
that?
are
Yeah.
good because, like, depending on who you are,
They're just like reading glasses.
yeah,
Right?
like reading glasses, they actually because one of your eyes has like stronger vision than the other. They basically reduce the strong eye's vision, so you end up more left. And a lot of people struggle to be left, or whatever eye is stronger. If it's an eye problem,
Yeah.
just shift the other way. Like it lets you be stopping because people are afraid to get into one side sometimes on bench and squat. But these glasses, they take away that filter, like that perception. Now you can easily not be afraid to get into your left. You still have to force it in, but it makes it so that your body's not scared to go one way.
How do you tell if the person needs a drill or if they need a variation or if they need glasses?
Have you tried them? It depends. Some drill is the simplest one. But if drill isn't doing anything, sometimes you keep telling the person to cue one way and that's not working. That's when I'd look at accessories like glasses, because it's like I do cue then drill. If those don't work, like in that order, cue then drill, and then if drill don't work, then maybe even accessories. And if that don't work, or like program, if that don't even work, then we can look at the accessories.
They gotta be.
That's like
They gotta be lost in the sauce.
yeah, we gotta be lost. Like I had to use the glasses.
Yeah.
But they helped.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah,
crazy
more
as
better.
it sounds, they helped a lot.
So you're like sleeping on your floor. You got your.
I don't sleep on my floor. I'm not doing that one.
That one is.
I'd rather.
I would have to be really hurt in order to do it for me.
I have a decent mattress, so
Yeah,
I think I avoid the floor one. I think my
Whenever I slept on my friend's mattress, that's when it was kind of like a eye opener to how bad.
I think my
Some of
friend
them
would
could
make
be
fun
for
of me
powerlifting.
if they found out that I slept on the floor.
All right.
Oh, man.
Anything else?
I think that's
I think
about
that's
it.
Yeah.
For me, that's all the topics, all 10
Yeah.
of them.
Okay. Well, thanks for being on.
Thank you,
thank
bro.
Where
you,
can we
Alex.
find you?
Alex_Cano_challenge on the IG. That's about it. Just DM me. Please do not fill out the client inquiry. I will not check. I forget to check.
DM Alex immediately.
Please do not fill it out.
Okay. And that concludes our podcast. Make sure to rate us 5 stars and have a good night.
Wow.
Good night.
I don't know why I said